Now, I cordially invite Honorable Minister of External Affairs, Professor G.L. Peiris, Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksa, Secretary of Defence, Major General Milinda Peiris, Vice Chancellor of KDU, and Mr. M.M. Jayawardena, Symposium Chair, to the stage. I'd like to invite Major General Milinda Peiris, Vice Chancellor of General Sir John Kopalawala Defence University, for the welcome address.
Honorable Minister, External Affairs, Professor G.L. Peiris, Secretary to the Ministry of Defence and the Chairman of Board of Management, Kopalawala Defence University, Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksa, Your Excellencies, Chief of Defence Staff, Commander of the Army, Commander of the Navy, Commander of the Air Force, Inspector General of Police, Vice Chancellors of other universities, distinguished invitees, senior officers, international scholars, scholars from other universities and institutions, ladies and gentlemen. As the Vice Chancellor of the General Sir John Kopalawala Defence University, I have the honor and privilege to welcome all of you to the 4th Annual Symposium 2011 on the theme Challenges of Post-Conflict Sri Lanka. The year 2009 changed the paradigm for the country as well as for the KDU with the Sri Lanka's unprecedented victory over the apparently invincible surge of terrorism that had engulfed the nation for 30 long years. This was a victory achieved mainly due to the foresight and the visionary leadership of His Excellency the President Mahinda Rajapaksa. The other contributing factors were the relentless and resolute leadership of Secretary of Defence Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksa, the valor, courage and determination of the officers and the soldiers of Triforces, Police and Defence Force, Civil Defence Force, and the moral support extended by all patriotic people of the country, irrespective of ethnic, religious or other differences. With this massive change in the country, Kopalawala Defence University too assumed a prominent role in resurgent Sri Lanka. Ladies and gentlemen, I am humbly proud to announce that in the recent past, with the blessings of the President, and particularly with the dynamic leadership of Secretary of Defence Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksa and the cooperation and encouragement extended by the members of the Board of Management, the university has been able to keep a giant stride forward. And the achievements made by the university during the last couple of years are quite phenomenal. Every attempt has been made to enhance KDU to be a center of excellence in military education and for other relevant disciplines. The establishment of new faculties of medicine and law, the revision of curriculums to address the new demands, expansion of scope of KDU courses to offer master's and doctoral degree programs, opening up opportunities for non-military students to follow KDU courses, enhancement of human resources and infrastructure facilities such as the KDU Teaching Hospital with all modern facilities among them to name a few. So the university is now on its way to assume a leading role in the country's tertiary education to fulfill the contemporary demand of making knowledge society, to face the new challenges facing the country in the post-conflict scenario. I, as well as the staff of the KDU, are quite confident that we as a university are capable of becoming one of the best universities in the country in years to come. This year's symposium bears ample testimony to the new role assumed by this Defence University, as I mentioned above. Even though we are confident that our motherland is back on track for a glorious future as a peaceful nation, a future in which all communities will live harmoniously together. We are not without challenges ahead of us. It is true that we do not encounter the traumatic experiences that we were used to experience in our daily lives a few years ago. But there are envious yet invisible forces from within and without operating to unsettle the stability we have achieved through great sacrifices. Hence, we should constantly be vigilant of such threats and be always ready to counteract and foil such attempts as a nation. Herein, we must have the foresight to intelligently re-examine the future role of our armed forces. Further, the contemporary socio-cultural, geopolitical, and economic realities in the world make matters even more complicated. They make it difficult to fathom the gravity of problems faced by the emerging nations like us. That is why we need to assess and reassess our strengths and the weaknesses alike in all fields of expertise to forge ahead to achieve our dream world of prosperity. So we cannot have the luxury of being complacent in the face of the victory achieved. We as a unified nation must strive hard for further victories in economic, social, cultural, scientific, and technological spheres. This can contribute to the post-conflict development efforts aimed at making Sri Lanka the wonder of Asia, while focusing on reconstruction, rehabilitation, and reconciliation as major areas of interest in the nation-building process. I believe that our armed forces have a major responsibility in this process too. Hence, we have already started the process of reshaping and redefining the role of armed forces in this new scenario. Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest advantage Sri Lanka has today is the possession of the most successful professional armed forces in the contemporary world. And we should harness this great human resource with unparalleled and versatile skills, great expertise in diverse fields of specialization, and remarkable potential for innovation for the development efforts of the nation. Already, the country can witness their contribution in the reconstruction and rehabilitation process